Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Jack.
And I'm Elena.
Today, we're going to be talking about goals.
Goals. Yeah, everyone has goals.
So what is a goal?
Well, a goal is something you want to do or accomplish.
Okay.
It can be a big goal like running a marathon
Okay.
or a small goal like learning a new word in English. And we all need a plan to reach our goals.
A plan.
Yes, a plan.
Okay, so what's the most important thing about reaching a goal?
I think it's important to enjoy the journey.
The journey.
Yeah, not just the end result.
What do you mean by that?
Well, imagine you're climbing a mountain.
Uh-huh.
You want to get to the top right.
Right, to see the view.
Yes. But you should also enjoy the climb itself.
Okay.
The fresh air, hard work.
I see your point.
Reaching a goal is about more than just the destination.
So there are lots of different ways to set goals, right?
Absolutely. There are many different methods.
Can you tell us about some of them?
Sure. One popular method is the Ivy Lee method.
Okay.
It's where you choose 6 important tasks to do each day.
Interesting.
Another one is Warren Buffett's 25-to-5 rule.
I've heard of that one.
You write down 25 goals you want to achieve.
Go on 25.
Then you pick the 5 most important ones.
Oh, so you just ignore the other 20.
Basically, you really focus on those top 5 goals.
Oh, that's tough.
It is, but it helps you stay focused.
On what matters most.
Exactly. What about the Eisenhower box? Have you heard of that?
I think so.
It's a tool to help you decide what tasks are urgent and important.
Urgent and important.
Yes, so you can prioritize your work.
That's helpful.
And then there's the 20 slot rule.
20 slot rule. What's that?
Well, imagine you have 20 slots each week.
20 slots.
And each slot represents a task you need to do.
Okay.
You have to choose carefully which tasks go in those slots.
I see. So it's all about planning and prioritizing.
Exactly. Having a plan makes you more likely to achieve your goals.
How can we make a good plan?
Well, think about when you'll work on your goal, where you'll do it, and how you'll do it.
So be specific.
Yes, specific plans are much more effective.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we've talked about different methods for setting goals.
Uh-huh.
Now let's think about our surroundings.
Our surroundings.
Yes, our environment can have a big impact on our goals.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say your phone is right next to your bed.
Oh, yeah. I'm guilty of that.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Check my phone, of course.
Exactly. It's easy to get distracted.
That's true.
Same thing with the TV if it's the focal point of your living room.
Yeah, you can watch more TV.
It's all about how our environment influences our choices.
So how can we design our surroundings to help us achieve our goals?
Well, there are a few things we can do.
Like what?
If you're trying to eat healthier, keep healthy food in your kitchen.
Makes sense.
If you want to read more, put a book on your coffee table.
Okay.
It's about making good choices easier.
I like that.
We can also use visual cues,
Visual cues.
things that remind you of your goal.
Oh, right. Like a picture of a marathon runner, if your goal is to run a marathon.
Exactly, or a calendar with your workout schedule marked on it.
I see.
These visual reminders can really help us stay motivated.
And what about scheduling things in advance?
That's another great strategy.
Okay.
If you book a yoga class in advance, you're less likely to skip it.
Yeah, because you've already committed.
It's about making it harder to make bad choices.
That's clever.
We can use these little tricks to our advantage.
So it's all about making good choices easier and bad choices harder.
Right, and we can do that by designing our environment to support our goals.
This is really interesting.
I'm glad you're finding it helpful.
I'm already starting to think about how I can change my surroundings to be more supportive.
That's great to hear.
Now I'm curious to learn more about how we can measure our progress and stay motivated.
Let's talk about that next.
So we were talking about making good choices easier and bad choices harder
Right.
to help us achieve our goals.
Exactly.
Now I want to talk about measuring progress
Okay, measuring progress.
and staying motivated.
Yeah, how do we stay on track and keep going?
It can be hard sometimes,
It definitely can be.
especially when things get tough.
But actually, when we learn new things,
Yeah,
it's actually good to make mistakes.
really. I always thought mistakes were bad.
Well, they can be frustrating,
Yeah.
but they're also really important for learning.
How so?
Well, when we make a mistake,
Uh-huh.
our brain has to work harder
Okay,
to figure out what went wrong
I see.
and how to do better next time.
So it's like our brain is getting a workout.
Exactly. It's like exercise for our brains.
So we shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes.
No, not all.
They're part of the learning process.
Exactly. And this relates to goal setting, too.
How so?
Well, your goals should be challenging,
Uh,
but not too challenging.
right. You want to push yourself, but not set yourself up for failure.
That's the idea.
I see.
You want to find that sweet spot where you're stretching yourself, but you're still able to make progress.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about visualization.
Okay, visualization.
It's a powerful tool.
It really is.
For achieving goals.
Uh-huh.
It's like imagining yourself reaching your goal.
Yes, and feeling the emotions that come with it.
But you said something interesting before.
What was that?
You said that it's better to visualize failure.
Oh, yes. That's a really interesting concept.
I don't quite understand that.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
When we visualize success, it can feel really good.
Yeah.
But it can also make us complacent.
Complacent.
Like we've already achieved the goal.
Oh, I see.
When we visualize failure, though, it forces us to confront the potential obstacles.
The things that could go wrong.
Exactly. It helps us prepare for those challenges.
So it's like a mental rehearsal.
Exactly. We're practicing what to do if things get tough.
That's actually really clever.
It can be a really effective strategy.
So it's not just about positive thinking.
No, it's about being realistic.
And prepared.
Exactly.
Like that.
Our brains are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
They have all these systems in place to help us achieve our goals.
Like what?
Well, there's this system called the dopamine system.
Dopamine, I've heard of that.
It's often called the molecule of motivation.
Motivation?
Yes, it plays a big role in how we pursue rewards.
So it's like a reward system?
Yeah, you can think of it that way.
Fair.
Dopamine makes us feel good.
Uh-huh.
And it motivates us to keep doing things that make us feel good.
So it's important for reaching our goals.
Absolutely, because when we make progress towards our goals, our brain releases dopamine.
So we feel good.
And that motivates us to keep going.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly.
So how can we use this dopamine system to our advantage?
Well, one way is to set milestones.
Milestones.
Small goals along the way to our bigger goal.
Oh, okay.
When we reach a milestone, our brain releases dopamine.
We get that reward.
Exactly. And that keeps us motivated to keep going.
So it's like breaking down a big goal into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Exactly. And celebrating those small wins along the way.
I like that.
It makes the journey more enjoyable.
And keeps us motivated.
Exactly. And you know, another thing that can really help.
What's that?
Is to consciously reward ourselves.
Reward ourselves?
Yeah, when we reach a milestone. Or make significant progress towards our goal.
Okay.
Do something nice for yourself.
Like
It could be anything that makes you happy.
Like buying myself a gift?
Sure, or taking a break.
Or spending time with loved ones?
Exactly, anything that feels rewarding.
So we're basically trading our brains.
In a way, yes.
To associate goal achievement with positive feelings.
Exactly, and that makes us more likely to keep pursuing our goals.
I'm starting to get this.
It's all about understanding how our brains work.
And using that knowledge to our advantage.
Exactly.
Now, I'm really curious to learn more about this space-time bridging exercise you mentioned.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
It sounds intriguing.
It's a simple but powerful technique.
That sounds really interesting.
It is. It's all about shifting your focus.
Shifting my focus.
Yeah. So first, you focus on something within your body.
Like my breath.
Exactly. Your breath or your heartbeat.
Okay.
Then you shift your focus to something close to you.
Like my hand.
Yes, or a book on the table. And then you keep shifting your focus further and further away.
For things that are farther away.
Right, like a tree outside the window, then a building in the distance.
I see.
And eventually to the horizon.
So I'm gradually expanding my focus.
Exactly, and then you reverse the process.
So I go from the horizon back to my body.
Yes, you bring your attention back to your breath.
That sounds kind of relaxing, actually.
It can be. It's a great way to calm your mind.
So what does this exercise have to do with achieving goals?
Well, it helps us train our attention.
Attention.
Yeah, our ability to focus.
Okay.
And attention is crucial for reaching goals.
Right. If you're not focused, you can get easily distracted.
Exactly. This exercise helps us strengthen that focus muscle.
I see. So it's like lifting weights for our attention span.
You got it.
And you said it also helps with time.
Yes, it can help us bridge the gap between the present and the future.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes our goals seem so far away.
Yeah, they can feel overwhelming.
This exercise helps us connect those long-term goals to our present moment actions.
By shifting our focus back and forth.
Exactly. We're training ourselves to see the connection
between what we do today
and the future we want to create.
That's a powerful concept.
It is. It's all about perspective.
I like that.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From setting goals to designing our environment.
To understanding how our brains work.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. I've learned so much.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel much more equipped now.
Equipped for what?
to set and achieve my goals.
That's what I like to hear.
Thank you for sharing your expertise.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And thanks to all our listeners for joining us today.
We hope you found this episode helpful.
And remember, you have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to.
Just keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward.
That's great advice.
Until next time, everyone.
Take care.